look like a priest.
Okay, move to return from exec session.
Second.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes. In light of the tragic events this week in our community, I'd like to start the meeting with a moment of silence, if you all would please join. Thank you. With that, we'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I see Forrest Jr. in the... Would you mind starting and leading us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Move to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. First up, some presentations, recognitions. The street tree, right? Tree committee, Paul, you get to kick it off.
Andrew Street.
I'm not sure who's presenting just yet.
Well, we can come back to it.
What? She's here.
Oh, okay.
Let's come.
Yeah, why don't you
Let's
do
do the road construction projects and we'll come right.
Okay.
Let's switch it up.
The Arbor Day?
Steve, you go.
As we do each spring, and we've done now for about 15 years, we prepare a list of road construction projects in our community. I'm pleased to announce that the list that we have for this year is probably the least number of projects or least magnitude that we've seen. We have posted this on our website here under the news section. This is kind of what's ahead for the year. If you scroll down here, I'll just kind of do a brief overview. The major projects that we have are the continuation of the 275 project down along the Ohio River. And that project, as you can see here on the left side of the screen, will go through the latter part of 2020. They'll be switching over the contraflow lane here in the spring or early summer, and then they'll be continuing the same work through the rest of this year that we saw last, just on the opposite side of the roadway. We have a number of different sidewalk segments that we're planning for this year, including Markley Road on the east side of Markley from James Hill down to Woodcroft. And then we have two segments that are associated with new subdivisions over on Woodruff, near the enclave of Woodruff subdivision, and then on Nordyke Road in conjunction with the Nordyke Estates subdivision that went in that would bring a sidewalk down Nordyke to Cazo Road. So we also, as you've seen just from earlier this week, construction resuming on Town Center Way. We hope that project actually will wrap up here within the next month or so with the final paving and landscaping going in. And then the northern side of our community, pleased with the county engineer, the effort that we have there, working with them on two projects. One is the resurfacing of Little Dry Run from Wolfangle Road down to the Village of Newtown line, and then Bridle Road in its entirety as well from Little Dry Run over to 8 Mile. As part of the Bridle project, that was a Ohio Public Works Commission project that we had a joint application with the county engineer on last year, where we are looking to install a sidewalk on Bridle from White House Drive to Johnson Hills Park. It would allow access from that neighborhood into the park. So that's kind of the overview, and again, far less than we've seen in the past, and pleased to announce that we've kind of through the worst of it. As far as road projects, we also have the list of kind of township projects, which are predominantly what we're seeing in our area. This is a continuation of the curb and sidewalk repairs that were left over from last year, and then finalizing road resurfacing on those streets that were addressed last year and those that we'll be working on this year. That's kind of the bulk of the township projects. What we don't have inserted in here yet are microsurface or sealer projects. We'll be in and out of the neighborhood pretty quickly, and our sidewalk repair program that we're looking to jump into pretty deep here this year. So we'll be adding those once that's finalized, hopefully next month. I mentioned the county engineers projects, and then there are some work that Union Township's doing and continuing that we've all kind of seen to the east of us as well. So a lighter load that we anticipate, but in those neighborhoods that we'll be working in, there'll be a pretty intense summer of activity. So that's an overview. If there's any questions, happy to answer those. This information is also on the table for those in the audience, and again, it's on our website for the public that wants to access it. And the upcoming Anderson Insights that'll be out in early April has a pretty good update on all these projects as well. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Thanks, Steve.
All right.
Okay, back to the trees.
Thank you. In March every year, the Tree Committee likes to present their accomplishments from 2018, give you a report on what they've accomplished, and then also give you a preview of some of the projects that are planned for 2019. So Ms. Coleman has offered to give the presentation on behalf of the Tree Committee tonight. We also have Bruce Bowman, who's in the audience, and John Halpin from the Tree Committee. So I'll turn it over.
And also, when you miss a meeting because you're out of town, you get to present.
True story, right?
But they came along with me. Okay, we've had a very busy year with the tree committee, and the board members take turns sitting in on the committee with us, so they understand what we do. So we're going to show the tree committee has decided that we do something similar to, I feel like I have my back to you, but is that okay? Okay. We do something similar to what we used to do with the, or we still do with the beautification committee. We find trees in the community that are outstanding, and we recognize them. So that's what we have here at the beginning. We're going to show you some pictures of outstanding trees that we have recognized in the community. So, okay, here's some winners from 2018. And if you're in the audience now and you have some in your area, if you will please send us a picture, let us know, then we will also put them on our list for next year. And there are standards that we go by, and also we are celebrating 10 years of receiving for ourselves Tree City USA through the state. We're very proud of that. And there are standards that we go by with the tree board and a community tree ordinance and community forestry program with an annual budget per capita of at least $2 per capita, and Arbor Day celebration. Tree City USA Growth Awards, we celebrate. This is our 5th year. Education and public relations, a continued education for forestry managers and tree board members. We have a tree planting and maintenance program, special tree planting project, and we have 2018 street tree program. As you can see, the different trees that have been planted in the area. We try to have a different group every year. And then we have a certain number in our area. And with these on the different streets, we try to follow with the streets that are being paved as far as the paving and the sidewalks. We go with the sidewalks that are being repaired. And the families are asked if they want a tree, first of all, in their front yard, or if the tree needs to be replaced. Then the next one, the township, this is very dear to my heart being a former teacher. The staff provides seedlings to 2nd graders in the Forest Hills Local School District. and IHM. And Paul does a very nice job with bringing the school children in and talking with them. This is very, very dear. And they each take a seedling home to plant. And then we have the 2018 Great Tree Winners, and this is something that we started a few years ago. And if you have a great tree or a tree that you think that is very special, if you will send us a picture or just send us a note telling us we have a tree in our area that this should be noted, then we'll send someone out to take a picture, and this will be in our minds, and hopefully that it will be picked. And then Arbor Day plans. Last year, I think they planted one out in front of this building, but it doesn't have to be here. We plant them all over. And sometimes, well, we were lucky enough one year, John and I were at a celebration and actually won a tree and brought it back and planted it. But wherever the tree is, we will find a tree and plant it somewhere on Arbor Day. We planted one over at
The Heritage?
Heritage, yes. Okay, also on this, we do education with the Insights articles. So anytime you have an article that you would like to be put in there, we would be glad to. And we're celebrating, this is a big aha moment, 10 years with a Tree City USA award. And we have grown this year at our committee, so we're very proud of that. We had a lot of new members come on this year, and the board takes turns being on the committee. Andrew's with us this year, but everybody takes their turn being on the committee. And Dee and I tried a couple of years ago getting some type of artwork going with high schools, and we just couldn't get enough interest going, and I would like to try that again. And we talked about maybe going with other levels of students, and maybe we could do that even, and you mentioned adults, I know, Dee, but maybe we could do that again, because I know a lot of people like art, and maybe that would be good, and maybe the middle school might need that, especially with everything that's been going on recently, because art does release a lot of in their heart. Okay, anything else?
No.
Questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sandra. Congratulations on graduating from the Tree Commission Academy, too.
Yes, yes, that's a big deal. Thank you.
Your committee does a great job. Appreciate you guys being here.
Yes, I just wanted to reiterate thanks to the committee for all their hard work. Thank you to the trustees for supporting this committee and everything that they do. As Ms. Coleman stated, there are 4 standards in order to be considered a Tree City USA community. One of those standards is passing a resolution declaring an Arbor Day in the township. So we do have a resolution before you for your consideration tonight to declare April the 26th, 2019 as Arbor Day in Anderson Township, and this will help fulfill that requirement.
I didn't say that our leader, I was out of town, and our leader said that the person out of town had to come to work every day.
Yes.
Okay, I move to declare April 26, 2019 as Arbor Day in Anderson Township.
Second. Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. I think this shows that, this board is very committed to the well-being, the green space, if you will, in this community. I mean, the tradition continues really from other boards, but I think it's great that that we've got this committee. So thanks, guys. Bruce, John, thanks for being here. Vicky?
Yes, it's my pleasure tonight to present a resolution to the board that would honor the Hamilton County Public Health Department for 100 years of service. Back in 1919, the Hughes-Griswold Act passed in the state of Ohio. That act set up requirements for local public health. Prior to 1919, each municipality and each township in Hamilton County operated their own health department. It was often done with part-time people that were volunteers that didn't have education in public health matters, and there was very, very little oversight. With the development of the act, with the legislation, that enabled Hamilton County Public Health to form. They've, again, been in service since, for the last 100 years. They have programs such as the We Thrive initiative, which this board initiated as part of Anderson Township. We have a We Thrive Anderson committee. That committee promotes healthy living, and it's through our various programs, trees, trails, eating healthies, the bike programs that we offer to educate youth. Those programs all roll under public health in addition to the routine day-to-day things that the public health department regulates. Under the leadership of Tim Ingram, who is an outstanding public servant, we're very lucky that they serve Anderson Township along with 44 other jurisdictions in Hamilton County. So with that, I would ask the board for consideration of the resolution.
I move to adopt a resolution recognizing Hamilton County Public Health for 100 years of service from 1919 to 2019.
Second.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes. Thanks, Vicky.
And I just want to say Katie Buckman, who is chairing our Anderson We Thrive Committee, thank you for, she's here with us tonight. I want to thank you for stepping up to chair that committee. So.
Katie's here? Oh, hi, Katie.
All right, at this time is our public forum section. If anyone would like to address this board, they can do that at this time.
You don't have to put your hand up. You can just come in.
I'll just follow directions. Good evening. My name is Linda Bowman, and I live 1391 Dyer Avenue in Anderson Township, right across the street from the home where the SWAT team incident occurred. And just kind of representing our neighbors, would like to thank the Sheriff's Department and the Board of Health for taking some action. It's been a problematic spot in our neighborhood, and we're just real concerned and just, we weren't sure where to go to get more information, and if this is not the correct forum, then perhaps you can advise. But we're just wondering what's going on. I know that both homes were condemned. We're not sure what that means. There's people there at night. We don't know if the Sheriff's Department's aware of that. People come and go, and we just we do have a neighborhood watch on our street, but we're not sure what that means and what we should be doing to help. So, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Vicky, Steve, Lieutenant
Yes.
McElroy, anybody want to?
If ma'am, if you could connect with Lieutenant McElroy after this meeting, that would be
Talk to
helpful,
him afterwards.
right
He'll
there.
give you the full lowdown.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Moving on to trustee comments. D, Andrew?
No, I mean, it's like you mentioned earlier, it's been a tough week, and I just hope everybody takes a step back and appreciates everything they have and focuses on their families and what's important, and thoughts and prayers, obviously, to those that are suffering, and that's about all I can say about it.
As you read in the upcoming issue of Anderson Insights, there is an Anderson Mental Wellness Committee that has been meeting, I guess, since October. And there's the townships involved, the school districts involved, the Park District, Forest Hills Foundation for Education, Mercy Health, Linder Center of Hope, Beach Acres, and am I missing anybody? So all those organizations are involved. This was started, like I said, back in October. We've been meeting every couple months since then. I think we just had our 4th meeting. But we were organizing a speaker series. The first event will be April 17th. It's on senior citizens, senior adult behavioral health. And Dr. Stephen Wilkes, the medical director of geriatrics at Mercy Health, will be speaking that night. That will be in the Anderson Center Theater at 6:30 p.m. The second in the series is June 13th, and that's Addiction in the Brain. And that will be Dr. Chris Toole of Linder Center of Hope and Dr. Steve Fagans from Mercy Health. So these things were already in the plan, but our community is focusing on mental health. I mean, we want to just shed some light on it and just talk about it. And so these are open to the public. Both of these events will be in the Anderson Theater at 6:30 p.m. So please, they will be in the calendar in your new Insights magazine. We'll be promoting those events, but please invite people to come, and we need to start talking about things. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Well said by both of you. I'm moving into some more positive news in keeping with the theme of promoting and preserving green space and parks in our community. I am pleased to announce, and you will also see this in the next couple of weeks when the Anderson Insights magazine comes out, that many of you might be familiar with the rec center, RecPlex at Beach Acres Park. What you might not know is that the Park District did not own that building, has been leasing it for many, many years. I'm pleased to announce that with the help of this entire board, we are going to help the Park District purchase that building, as well as about 7 acres?
About 5.8.
5.8 acres. And what I'm going to do is just read the quote that will be in the Anderson Insights. Anderson Township was proud to lead the charge in effort to secure the RecPlex for the Anderson Park District. The purchase of the Anderson Park RecPlex is a perfect example of pooling resources for one common goal, and that is the vitality and well-being of our community. The Forest Hills School District provided $1 million for the upgrade through tax increment financing funds. Our contribution at Anderson Township through the same tax increment financing was approximately $2 million. The word collaboration is thrown out a lot in the business community, but it's not often enough in government. One of the priorities of this board has been to collaborate where we can with our other community partners. This is one instance where we all benefit from the renovation of this desirable indoor recreation facility. So again, keeping with the spirit of promoting, preserving, and continuing to expand our green space and parks, we're excited about this announcement. Anything else? Ken, you're up.
We have financial reports through the month of February. As I say, at this time every year, the revenues are exceeding what we estimated. That's because the tax collections have come in. So that's looking good. The expenditures are below what we anticipated. But once again, that's just because of the time of the year. The bills will start coming in. I expect us to be under our budget, which brings me to the consideration of the 2019 permanent summary budget that you have before you. The summary budget, permanent budget, is about $1 million more than what our tax budget was, which we developed last fall. And we added some things out of the TIP program. There's been some law changes that have allowed us to use money out of that. That will be a help to the general fund down the road, and eventually to public works. So of that $1 million more, the history shows that over the years we spend quite a bit less than what we budgeted for. Last year we budgeted for $45 million. We came in around 38. Just to make those numbers make sense, we do have encumbrances of somewhere around $2.53 million. We've got some late bills in, so that will be added to what those expenses have been. It's still 5 to 8% below what we budgeted for, and hopefully we can accomplish the same thing this year. So I would ask that we take a look at those numbers and before I ask for that, I'd just like to thank my staff, the fiscal office, Debbie and Nancy, the administration, everybody, all the assistant administrators, department heads. We all combined to make this happen within the last 3 months, and I think we did a thorough job. There'll be some changes that will develop during the year, some additions and some deletions. So this time I'd like to bring your consideration for approval.
I move to adopt the 2019 permanent summary budget as presented by Mr. Dietz.
Second.
Mr. Papp,
Yes.
Mrs. Stone,
Yes.
Mr. Rich,
Yes.
thank you.
Thanks
Great-
again.
Great job, everybody. The amount of work that goes into that is staggering, so,
We also, during that time, went through a repository conversion,
yeah.
which extended a little bit longer than we thought it would, because we had a couple glitches that weren't anticipated, because we're on a UAN system and we're on a buck system, just because of the volume of all our transactions. And as of today, I would say we've got through all those problems, and of course, getting the budget together. And next thing is our planning meeting, and then we go into the tax budget for next year, so.
No rest
The
for
cycle continues.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Ken.
Law Director, Margaret,
I have no report this evening.
thank you. Anything else, Paul, from Planning and Zoning? Thank you. Lieutenant McElroy? Anything? All right. Public Works, Eric? Very good. And Fire and Rescue? Well done, everybody. Thank you.
Until we get
Vicki, back to you.
Yes, unfortunately, we won't be that quick. I'd like to ask Facilities Manager Mark Magna to come up. He has the first two items to present to the board.
Good evening. The first item is to award the firm for the design services for the RecPlex renovation. We solicited 6 firms and received 5 proposals. You have the results in your motion. Staff reviewed the proposals and determined that KBA Incorporated Architects was the best price for the services, and you have a motion before you for that consideration. I can answer any questions.
I move that this board hereby accepts the quote of $90,400 from KBA Incorporated Architects for the Anderson Parks RecPlex design services, together with a 10% contingency for a maximum appropriation of $99,440, funded out of 1994 TIF funds to be reimbursed from the issuance of bonds or bond anticipation notes for the purpose of financing costs associated with the project. Further, this board hereby authorizes and directs the Township Administrator, after consultation with the Law Director, to enter into contract with KBA Incorporated Architects for the Anderson Parks RecPlex design services.
Second.
Yes.
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 Thank you. The next item is concerning the Fire Station 10 driveway replacement. I'm seeking permission to solicit bids for design services to prepare bidding documents for the replacement of the driveways at Fire Station 10. I can answer any questions.
I move that this board hereby approve authorization to solicit design firms for the Fire Station 10 driveway replacement project.
Second. Yes.
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 Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Mr. Severs has the next item.
For the last couple of years, we've been discussing with the board and working with strategies to stay on top of the requests that we've seen for the installation of, we call, for lack of a better term, small cell equipment or microcells. This is equipment that's proposed for public right-of-ways within Anderson Township and across the region and the country. The law continues to evolve both locally and state level and also at the federal level. We feel it's advantageous for us to at least establish a series of design guidelines that we can suggest to such providers when they come knocking on our doors. Those were presented to the board here earlier this month, and there's a motion in your packet that would call for the adoption of those guidelines and allow us to, like I said, at least provide a set of goals and ideals for our community in the hopes that those would be upheld if ever challenged as well. So.
I move to adopt design guidelines pertaining to the installation of small microcellular technology proposed for public rights-of-way within Anderson Township, Ohio.
Second.
Yes.
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 Thank you. Next item we have is a request to raise expenditure thresholds for various employees at the township. Prior to 2003, the limit that township administrators could authorize through a purchase order was $750. In 2003, that amount was increased to $2,500. Department heads were authorized up to $1,000. Last year, the Ohio Township Association and the Coalition of Large Ohio Urban Townships approached the state legislature asking that those authorization limits be increased. The legislature did authorize that. It is up to the Board of Township Trustees of each township. It's their discretion whether or not those expenditure thresholds are increased or not. There are some townships that are smaller, that don't have large budgets. As Mr. Dietz presented a little while ago, we have a very large budget. Our operating budget alone is $29.9 million. So therefore, in order to aid in the efficiency and effectiveness of our operations here at the township, I am requesting that the board authorize me, the two assistant administrators, Ms. Parker and Mr. Sievers, and Ms. Hucker, who in her capacity is preparing purchase orders as fiscal office manager, to increase those thresholds to $10,000, and department heads will remain at the $1,000 limit. There is a motion before you.
I move to authorize township employees to incur obligations of $10,000 or less on behalf of the township.
Second. Yes.
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 Thank you. And for the audience perspective, the board, as you know, approved the budget, so those expenditures and that authorization is already approved by the board. This is individual purchase orders. If something were to come up that is outside of the budget or require an additional appropriation, staff would have to come back to the board for that authorization. So thank you. The next item would be renewal of our membership in the Center for Local Government. CLG, actually Anderson Township was one of the founding members of CLG back in 1990. It's a group of governments, cities, villages, counties, townships that join together for training purposes and also to gain efficiencies for purchasing and other items. For example, we are involved in the Center for Local Government Benefits Pool, which reduces our health insurance costs for our employees. As far as the training, we have had a number of staff members who have graduated from the Leadership Academy. It is an academy that is formed, goes through a series of classes over a period of months that helps identify future leaders in local government. A lot of us are getting older, and we're losing a lot of talent through retirement. This helps us identify new talent in each of our communities. Mr. Magna, Betty Cowan, Sarah Donovan, and Brad Bowers in our Planning and Zoning Department are prior graduates, and I'm pleased to announce that Mr. Luganbuehl has been accepted into the program this year. So I would ask for all those benefits and more, I would ask that the board consider renewing our membership at a cost of $3,825 for 2019.
I move to authorize renewal of the township's membership in the Center for Local Government for 2019 at the annual rate of $3,825.
Second.
Yes.
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 Thank you. Last item I have for the board's consideration tonight is to authorize a Memorial Day contribution of $100 to American Legion Post 318. This is provided for in the Ohio Revised Code. The Legion does visit every cemetery on Memorial Day, place flags on the graves of veterans. They also work in conjunction with Anderson Township to conduct a Memorial Day bell ringing ceremony on the South Plaza here at Anderson Center. That will be held on May 27th at 11:45.
I move to authorize Memorial Day contribution of $100 to American Legion Anderson Post 318 for the purpose of properly observing Memorial Day with the township as permitted by Ohio Revised Code, Section 307.66.
Second. Yes.
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 Thank you. That is all we have this evening.
Thanks, Vicki and Steve. The next regular board meeting in this room will be on April 18th, 2019 at 6 o'clock. With that, move to adjourn.
Second. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, go Bearcats.
Mute.